just read that one out. How long does it normally take to research the app and then code it, etc.? So research and then the sort of design integration, I would say. I would just quickly before you answer, at least from clients that I've experienced, I've had some clients do put more emphasis on research than others. But what is a good thing is to, once you start to produce the materials that we've sort of laid out, those are the moments that you can really touch base with your potential audience, for research, whether it's quantitative or qualitative. And as far as the amount, at least from my position, there's no minimum or maximum limit that we would say, but we want the research to influence the procedures or the designs, for example, quite strongly. So when you have established wireframes, for example, and when you have established designs, things such as focus groups can be a really smart idea, really just to get people to circle around, get opinions, get a sense of what their initial thoughts are even. That can be a really good starting point for research as far as, are you going in the right direction? And if do we need to change course? Those are really good touch points. But you could maybe introduce people earlier as well. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, just to add to that as well, I guess it can take, apps can come in all shapes and forms. So it can take a very long time to research kind of complex theories and systems, but it can also take a very quick, short amount of time to develop quite an intuitive product that is trying to do a relatively simple thing. So again, it's kind of how long's a piece of string. But I guess on the research side, it's always important to kind of come to the table if you've got a project there, knowing what you're looking for, having researched the market quite thoroughly. And even when you're developing it as well, as Craig said, you can bring in focus groups and stuff like that. So in terms of coding, typically, you're looking at, at least a few months in terms of kind of wireframing and design, and then you're on to the development and then QA testing and launch. So it's similar to building a house, for example. You need good designs in place. You need to employ an architect to do the drawings, and without all those pieces of the puzzle in place, the house is going to be built on sand with the wrong materials. So ultimately, it is a process that needs to go through. Although the end product might appear quite simple, there's probably a lot of effort and coding that goes into the back of it, and a lot of building blocks that go into any system. So in terms of the coding side, yeah, again, that's the main bulk of what it is that we do, but also the research side is also quite important. I'd say, if we had to average it out, most MVPs might take 4 to 6 months, to get it from the concept stage all the way through to launch. I think we've got one more question there. So just mention, is it quicker to create a web app versus a mobile phone app? So I'd always say, web apps are typically easier to build in an iterative process. So if you're building a web app, it's much easier to push code to live. So with an MVP, sometimes or quite often they might start with a web app, and then their kind of final solution is to move that into a mobile app form. And there's also things called progressive web apps, which are a sort of hybrid between a web app and a mobile phone app. I would say, but I would caveat that with, typically web apps tend to be more functional. You know, if you're using a laptop, there's lots of kind of interactions going on there. Some you know, inputting of data, output of data, analytics. Sometimes mobile apps can be quite intuitive. So, you know, that's where you can kind of home in on a very simple mobile app for your MVP and make it very intuitive from square one. So, you know, there have been occasions where, you know, we've built mobile apps much faster than we would do with the likes of a web app.